Welcome back, guys, to Mzansi's MMA show. I'm the Couch Ninja, part-time entertainment hobbyist and gimmick. What the gimmick is very long and stupid and definitely a story for another time. I'm joined by full-time comedian Prince, whose upcoming show at my wit's end is at the Bioscope in town on the 28th and the 29th of August. Critics have described it as the hilarious antidote to these trying times. And as it turns out, they haven't. I just made that up. As we do on this show. That's the fake endorsements in the past and all the other weird shit we tried. One thing that isn't made up is the EFC, an elite fighting championship happening with international fighters right here in Jersey. Our goal is to get people that can afford the roughly $20 a month to watch EFC more, because that way we're adding to local MMA, not just armchair commentating. So since we're broke and don't have much money, we came by the hook or the crook, managed to watch The Doctor versus Triple H. This is the only fight you could find on DSTV, am I right?
Yeah, Coach. Well, I mean, there were many fights. The fight that we really wanted to watch was I think what was the one, the Ricky Masholas, and he was fighting against some other guy. And then there's also the Henning guy. Remember we spoke about Henning last time when we were chatting to Vickers Swartz about Henning. I couldn't find those two fights for some strange or the other apparent reason. I don't know. It was my first time running through an EFC card, so I really couldn't find it. But I did find the Njikasa versus Ndebele fight, which you just mentioned, which is the one fight that me and you actually watched. It was the one fight that was actually hella exciting for introduction to EFC, to the world of EFC. I was pleasantly entertained by the happenings of the fight. I thought some of it was a bit bizarre, but but hella entertaining nonetheless.
Well, that's kind of the joy of watching some of these smaller organizations, you know, like there is that bizarre element to it, the stuff that you don't see like in the sort of elite organizations like the UFC. That. So I think I enjoyed the fight a lot, and I got to say, like, from the first times that I've gone to the EFC, like they used to have it at the Dome, which is of course been put up for sale recently. So that just goes to show where we are in South Africa.
Yeah,
in terms of like a broadcast in that, I was super impressed because I've never actually watched a proper broadcast of the EFC. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a free trial. I see they got a free trial on their website. So I skim, maybe both of us should get a free trial and then review it afterwards.
But yeah, sure. No, 100%. The quality of the production's good, as you can see. The lighting is dope. The octagon or the hexagon is clearly set up nicely. The fighters have their sponsors. You know, the fighters look sleek. They look like, you know, a professional. Let's talk about the headline fighter. What did you make of it? I felt like Njikasa was definitely winning that fight in terms of like his power punching. He was cracking. He was rocking in the belly all the time, especially with those left high kicks. Yes. And he was just a better fighter by a mile. And then for some strange reason, this guy just got so exhausted and so tired. And then he just couldn't do anything at the end. The Bele was leg kicking him like crazy. And I don't even think the leg kicks are what ended the fight. I think he was just so exhausted that he was like, yo, there was some point during the fight where he was trying to take breaks, like, yo, man, can I have some water? Dude, like during the fight, he was trying to take breaks, like, yo, time out, ref. They're like, yo, there's still time left. Oh, come on, guys.
Let's give the viewers some context. Hopefully we can show it as well. But like your comment, because what happened was we did want to go and watch it together, but I was too broke for a taxi at the time. So so Prince recorded it on his phone and I downloaded it and I watched it. Dude, your commentary was fucking priceless, bro. It was really, really funny.
There's no juice left in there. Yo, he's done. Couch, you know the last time you saw this was with Francis Ngannou and Stipe Miocic in the first fight.
It was that high leg kick to was. And what's Undavella doing?
Bruh,
Taking that out of
doesn't matter how powerful you are. If the gas tank is empty, it's empty, bruh. It's empty. It's done. It's done.
Again, he's just. He's not much left, does he? He almost went down his knees there. He's got leg kicks away. He's got no longer to stop the fight whatsoever.
He can't. He's depleted. It was that groundwork that failed. You depleted him.
Wow. You know what?
Just take him. Take him down and submit him.
It's basically a log.
You Pelilele chip. Exhaustion. You should put a piece of that in. I don't know how angry the EFC will be with us, but
guys,
it was an hilarious fight, man.
I personally will subscribe to the EFC. I will fucking pay the 20 rand a month just if I can show Prince's commentary for the thing. But yeah, like I enjoyed the production a lot. But yeah, you're right. It was really like it started like a proper there's a nice bit of tit for tat. They were like trading nicely, trading high kicks, trading things. The guy was getting rocked, but then the other guy just didn't know how to fucking close the fight. And then I think it was when they went I think Triple H, right? I think he was more into striking. That like he wasn't as well.
He tried the ground game. He tried the ground game and he wasted a lot of energy because he was trying to get a choke in, but it clearly wasn't working. And after that choke, when he got back up, he was never the same again.
Over, bro. It was over. I also, you know what I also like about the EFC is the characters of it. Like, you know, as South Africans, we always have this thing of like, our sportsmen are all very like in a box and shit. But I felt that the personalities of the fighters themselves were also pretty dope. Like the doctor, he is an actual doctor. So like he can knock you out and then revive you.
A little late. Like he'll knock you out now and he'll be doing the surgery later on. Like I gotta put that bone back. Took it out earlier.
I liked his swag though. I liked he fought a very strategic fight. You know, he saw that the leg kicks were working in the second round. So he just kept peppering him with leg kicks. And the guy did just give up, bro. It was like
gave up, bro. Like he was exhausted. I feel like all the doctor had to do in that fight was just be there and just survive. That's all he did. He survived, and then when that other dude was done, he was literally done. He could have just actually told the ref, right, I'm done, and left. But then he wanted to go through the process.
And the other guy was just teeing off on him like he was at the gym. He was like, okay, let me drill some leg kicks.
Yeah. You know, this is the target. That's all.
You know what I feel as well? Like there's two things. Like the fighters don't know how to take professional breaks. Like you see how was taking really good professional breaks was Nate Diaz in his last fight. He did that gangster break every now and then. He like walk away, but it looks kind of like he's about to deal some drugs or some shit. He looks all shady. Walks away like doing all gangster shit. And then,
at some point, he was even at his knees and his shoulders and he was doing something over there. And you're like, oh, this is so cool. But meanwhile, you forget. He's just trying to catch a quick breather. Jikasa didn't know how to take a professional break, but he was trying to take breaks while the punches were coming. He'd be taking a break and they'd hit him and he'd be like, yo, ref, what the heck?
He's trying to take a break here. I thought the strategy was so there's that. And then the other thing is they also I don't think like there's enough money in the fight for them not to give up. So they're like, oh shit, my break isn't working. So I'm just gonna give up. Like I remember we watched this live EFC, right? And this guy was he was also like a pure striker. So he was losing the fight, right? So what the other dude did was he just put him against the cage in a clinch and he just started hammering his foot with the foot stomps, but like a lot. The guy was like, he didn't know that like this happens in mixed martial arts. And,
he was disappointed. He was like,
he was like going to the ref. He's stomping my foot. And the ref was like, carry on, dog. So the guy also gave up. He was like, my feet hurts.
Yeah, dude.
It was
Yeah.
cool. Like if you're in the crowd, the whole crowd thought he was lame and like gave him some. They were like, "Boo! You fucking loser! You can't." And then even at his next fight, when he was walking in, the whole crowd was like, "Foot stomp! Foot stomp!"
And this time he was wearing that thing where he taped up his foot. He was prepared. He was checking foot stomps.
You got to be
How do
ready.
you check his foot stomp?
Yeah.
Tell me something. So these two heavyweight fighters that you saw fight, like, how would you rank them if they? Because you see what happened in the EFC was the champion of the heavyweight actually got signed to the UFC, so the title was left vacant. So these two guys fought for the vacant title. But having watched that fight and knowing what the heavyweight division's looking like currently in the UFC, do you think one of these two guys have a place competing at that elite UFC level? Or from what you've seen, do you think they still have a little bit way to go? Or from what you've seen, you're like, nah, not a chance. It will never happen. What was the standard that you saw out
I
there?
think that they're definitely entry level UFC worthy. Not like they're going to
Yeah.
fight for the belt anytime soon, you know.
Yeah, maybe they fight like Tai Tuivasa or someone.
Yeah, they're going to be on a couple undercards. Yeah, no doubt. But they definitely deserve to be on the undercard. Like, even some of the early prelims, I think they're like, you know, at the bottom end of an early prelim. I think they're, or even just a preliminary card. You know, I think they're about that level. I'm pretty.
Yeah, they've got some competitive. There's definitely elements there of good fighter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like the power of Njakasa, just to see the power on his kicks, his high kicks, the power when you are striking. Absolutely cool. He was like a more typical heavyweight in that he was a bit slower, but very explosive and very powerful. In the Debele, you could see he was more sleek. He was trying to be a bit more IQ and have a bit more intelligence. He was trying to play around more with his movement, his timing, and pacing himself. But all I know is if that guy got tired like that in a second round of a fight, and that was a 5-round fight, coach. So I don't know what the conditioning is like for these guys, but he definitely needs to improve in that department. You can't be guessing out in the second round like that.
I feel the doctor was probably closer to UFC levels because he's fought a strategic fight. His techniques were sound. So look, of course, they're not quite like main card UFC ready.
Yeah.
But they're definitely like undercard or entry level UFC, I would say.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not Dana White. You know, I'm not a UFC scout or whatever. But I mean, if the champ of the EFC did manage to go over, look, I think for an African, for an organization that is the cream of the crop of African MMA, it's not bad. And the fact that like even Brazilian guys are trying to like earn titles in it, that adds quite a lot of credence to it, I would say, because Brazil's got a super rich MMA
fighting
pool, you know. So the fact that Brazilian guys are coming over here looking for belts in that, I feel it deserves a lot of support. And of course, I mean,
hopefully. Sorry, you can finish.
No, you carry on. I think I've spoken enough.
No, I'm saying hopefully, like we had a chat last time to Vickers and he was talking about the current state of the EFC, like in South Africa. I think with COVID now leaving a little bit, dying out, it would be nice to see fans return back to the venues just to get that energy and that vibe going again. It would be cool to see fighting cards done a lot more solidly. I thought with this card there was a lot of changes on the card, and you know, then this fight was in, it was pulled, and another fight was in, and that one was changed. And then even when I went and tried to find the fights we were interested in, it was very hard to find them. Now I'm like, okay, am I just not looking in the right places, or has those fights changed last minute for some strange reason? So it'd be nice to see once the EFC really starts to get its full momentum again, you know, get that buy-in on DSTV, you know, get people watching it on there, and obviously the streaming, as you said, that is available. And get the big names. There's a couple of big names that I think can break out. I mean, we have Dricus du Plessis, who's already made a breakout name for himself now. We still have, who was the former bantamweight champion, Faiz Jacobs. He was the guy who had the sign on his chest that said, Dana White, watch my fight. You know, I think he's really good and he really has potential to get into that upper brackets. But I'm not even talking about guys making it into the UFC. I'm talking about guys just becoming local heroes or local fans, something that somebody that everyone in South Africa knows, that's like an EFC champion or whatever. See, I'd like us to reach that point. But of course, baby steps, and with the pandemic, doesn't make it any easier. But definitely from what I've seen this past EFC 88, definitely potential there.
Well, this is the thing, like the EFC is basically just a reflection of what the South African economy looks like, and the changes they're trying to make, So I think it's also interesting on that sense, if you want to look at like, this is an organization that does what they do pretty good. I mean, I've been to their events when they were going on, and they have a big history. I mean, I was going in 2011, 2012, like that's sort of how long they've been going for. They're putting on really, really good events, and now they're having to adapt, like Vic has said, this is kind of where we are with things. So I agree with you. I think it's our goal as South Africans and as entertainers as well to really just try and grow this brand, like we can still do our UFC things and that, but it's like, it's important for us as people, as fans of MMA, to actually get behind local MMA, because we would expect the public to be like, if you're a fan of comedy, well, if you're South African, we want you to get behind South African comedy, right?
Yeah. 100%. No, cool, man. Sweet. So looking forward to the next card, EFC 89. I think this time we'll try and do a bit more in terms of covering those fights nicely and previewing them. I think we are ready and we are set. And it would be cool to go to a live EFC as soon as possible. Hopefully Nancy's MMA show can get some VIP passes to do the media work there. But there is something to look forward to.